Good morning, Maya Barback. Here's the plan. There will be more work on the gazebo today. There will be more work on glass for the balconies today. There'll be work on tiling around the swimming pool today. There'll be work on doors today. We will also get quite a lot closer to having a white house. There will be electrical. There'll be goodness knows what else going on. What could possibly go wrong? I think I have officially abandoned my not showing white paint or skim coat policy because I'm starting with it today. The guys have been getting set up with platforms. Looks very much like they will be working on the downstairs part of the west facing wall, the back of the house. This is most likely going to change colour today. Frederick is starting to make patterns with tiles here around the edge of the swimming pool. He's got a template over here showing light grey, dark grey, grey. So he's got 3 different selections here, and then he's replicating that with the actual tiles. Now this is going to be a slow process. So many tiles need cutting to a non-standard shape. The edges are all curved pretty much. This is going to take a while. Tony and Mark are back preparing plaster to put on the outside bathroom walls. Still quite a way to go. I would imagine they'll make some pretty decent headway with finishing off that rendering. They'll be close to that today, I would guess. More work on forms this morning, so I think they'll get close today to putting the monster forms on all of the remaining columns. The other thing they've done, which they've done with every slab they've poured, is they have given it a good soaking with water to help the curing process. This is something that really should be done for a number of days. I can't tell you how many, but it should be kept wet. And that's probably even more true today with the temperature having ratcheted up. It's a hot one today. So this water is going to evaporate very fast. The water in the concrete is going to continue to evaporate. So keeping this wet once or twice a day at least should be done. Here is where yesterday part of this wall was chipped out so that it lines up more accurately with the floor tile transition. Obviously there's still some more work to be done here, and it's being done right now, but that line now looks like it's pretty close to being spot on. In the double height ceiling, where lots of adjustments were made to strengthen that connection for the light fixture. Erwin's back on skim coating up there, and while he's doing that, singing Rico, who's listening to at the moment a very quiet little bit of music. He's focused on his John Denver songs, but clean up going on here. Papa Jess on his way to do more electrical work, but the reason I'm here is I have had a chat with the engineer this morning and asked him to talk to the glass guys, because in a few places these glass panes are not properly aligned. This one, the heights is probably hard to see, but the height is off a little bit and they're not actually in a directly straight line. So there's just little bits of adjustments that I would imagine are fairly easy to do. And we do have a small group from the glass company. They're back this morning, right now, working on Jack's balcony. They've actually removed a couple of the panels of glass and now are replacing them, so maybe that's a little bit to do with alignment here. Having done that bit of cleanup, Richard and Sing and Rico are now working on the master bedroom door, which we do now have. And in fact, if the guys can get the tools they apparently need, there'll be something new on doors upstairs, probably starting later on today. Stick around and see what that is. We have again skipped straight on to 4:30. The sort of end of the day, except you can probably hear in the background the concrete mixer is still running. Before we go and have a look at everything, let's go back to Mega Wegger, the person we can all blame for joke of the day. Now this one, you got to put your American head on. If you're not American, think American. Why does a chicken coop only have 2 doors? Because if it had 4 doors, it'd be a chicken sedan. And with that, let's go and see what's been happening. The outside facilities are now completely rendered, plastered. All the walls, inside and out, are done. Here at the pool, Frederick has made a start. I did suggest this was going to be a long process. None of these tiles are actually fixed in place yet. At the moment, this is simply an exercise in cutting and putting the right shapes and the right colours in the right places. My word, that's only 3 metres in length. This is going to take ages. Across the back of the house, more white paint. Probably fractionally less than I thought there might be, but bear in mind, The areas, most of the areas you see now that are not white are where there'll be tiles. The exception is up by that last window, that area of wall, with the exception of the plant box that's going to go at the bottom, all of that will be white. In the dining room, this false wall looks a bit different. Gone is the wood colour, in is a white colour, but it is only temporary. This will go back to being something like this wood colour. In the living room, we did have a visit this afternoon from eSummerTech, who are taking care of all of our air conditioning. Now, if you remember, or if you've been watching, you might know that we were going to put a wall-mounted unit up here, and then we decided that wasn't going to be sufficient. So we've exchanged that. It's now going to be a floor-standing unit, which we tried desperately to avoid, but had to give in the end. Unfortunately, it's going to have to go over in this corner, we think, and they will have to knock through to a condenser outside on that side of the house. Something else we were trying to avoid. But if we tried to put the interior unit here, the copper cables and everything else, it's all got to be changed, and it would mean knocking through a massive amount to reconnect to a condenser where all the other condensers are. Which is a long way of saying aircon's going to go over there. The master bedroom now has a door, but it doesn't have the other thing that I was told first thing this morning they were going to try and do. They were going to put door handles on all these upstairs doors. For whatever reason, that's not been done today. The engineer did talk about having to get some other tools. Maybe they just couldn't get them. The master bedroom balcony, the glass is in, as is the handrail, although it's not quite finished yet. There's a couple more adjustments to be made, but it's all done. The glass here above the double height entrance, still not in place, still too much work being done around it. And the same is true also of the double height ceiling over the sunroom. That glass is not in either just yet. And nor is the glass on the stairs. All of that has to wait a bit longer until the regular crew can finish more of what they need to do in those areas. The balcony glass and handrail for Sabrina's room, also finished, I think. Maybe there's some little adjustments still to be made, but it's all installed. On Jack's balcony, not quite done yet. That front glass wall is in, that glass wall is in on the side, but no handrail yet. So, a bit more still to be done here. The focus on the gazebo today so far was not on the forms for the columns. It was on the step. So we now have along a little bit of this side, and all the way along this side, we've got to step up into the gazebo. The main entrance will be on this end, simply because if we try to do it down here, the spans between the columns are not quite as large. We could still do something, but we've decided main entrance just here. And now we are getting concrete being poured. And they do have the vibrator ready to be used. Don't blame me, that's what someone else calls it. This will vibrate the concrete once it's in. Try and make sure we don't get any voids down the column. We get it as solid and as airtight as possible. So that should be used in a little while. This is the first column. No, this is the second column they're pouring. It's about 5:40 and the guys are done. Another long, hard day. So, over here, 4 columns poured. 4 left to go. Still got forms to put on. Those 4. Lots more still to be done here. But another very productive day. Let's call that one BuilDelicious. See you tomorrow.